at the same time, we want to make sure that it's still an integrated system. So interoperability between these different rails, different networks would be extremely important.
Dubai is actually now at the center of everything that Ripple is doing as well.
I think one of the really striking points is 15 years ago, we invented Bitcoin. All the people who are serious about Bitcoin.
Now, you would need 9 Republicans to come over and say they support this legislation, and it's just not going to happen. And I think the head of the campaign arm was the one whose bill this is.
Right.
So Tom Emmer, I just don't.
It would be ironic, and we've discussed this, if the last nation to join BRICS is the United States. Mm-hmm. And eventually it will be a global network of all the countries, including the US.
For example, in this last quarter, the bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions.
In the last 100 years, the US dollar has lost over 97% of its purchasing power.
At some point, they're going to quit using our dollars as reserve currency. I mean, I
know what you hold.
Enjoy the ride, pal.
Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. Shout out to the latest up. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 2.68 trillion, down about 2.3% in the past 24. We got XRP in the number 8 spot, right around 50 cents, 2 for $1. We got Stellar XLM right around 10 cents, 10 for $1. BTC 69,452. We got ETH right around 36, 37 hundo. We got Flare Networks right around 0.027, Axelar 86 cents, XDC 0.0356, Songbird 009, Stronghold 006. We got Zahao right around 11 cents, Evernote 20 cents. We got Watcher Guru to pop things off. Justin Donald Trump calls himself a crypto president at the San Francisco Tech fundraiser. Drain the swamp. Free the standard. We got Emi Yoshikawa, XRP Ledger Hackathon going on in Amsterdam, building up momentum leading into XRPL Apex. Our hackathons are better than yours. We got Mr. Man XRP. The XRP Ledger enables multi-rail payments across currencies and networks, though its decentralized exchange aims to improve correspondent banking inefficiencies through real-time settlement and has a dedicated separate platform that offers tokenized CBDCs.
So here we can imagine that in the future, we can have a global payment system that's multi-railed. Some are still very much based on correspondent banking relationships. There could be other networks that are more based on DLTs with tokenized central bank money, or, for example, wholesale central bank money, central bank digital currency, tokenized bank deposits, and maybe even well-regulated stable coins. So we can see coexistence of such a system for multi-railed payments to happen. But at the same time, we want to make sure that it's still an integrated system. So interoperability between these different rails, different networks would be extremely important. And at the same time, we also want to think about potential trade-offs between efficiency and stability, in the sense that if we see capital flows become much larger, as I mentioned, there will be more participation by smaller households and firms. Volatility could also be higher. So how do we deal with larger volumes and volatility in capital flows? Do we have strengthened capital flow management measures, or do we need to have safety nets to be strengthened? So these certainly are very key components of the international monetary system. It's
XRP interoperability. We had XRP drops. Dubai is actually now at the center of everything that Ripple is doing. Well,
an amazing ecosystem worldwide, and it takes it very seriously that Dubai is actually now at the center of everything that Ripple is doing as well, whether it is locally, regionally, or even internationally. And Ripple's being in the UAE is a great testament to that.
All roads lead to the bridge. Mr. Man XRP, Bretton Woods Conference 2024. Who did you just say invented BTC? More truths coming to the light.
Decentralized or peer-to-peer technology has to be part of that. And I think one of the really striking points is 15 years ago, we invented Bitcoin. All the people who are serious about Bitcoin end up saying, you know what, peer-to-peer is nonsense. I want an exchange. I don't even want to trade Bitcoin. I want to trade Bitcoin ETFs. And so they completely replicate the centralized institutional balance sheet infrastructure, because it turns out that thing existed because it works really, really well, not because some government regulation mandated it to exist. And so I just don't understand the excitement about peer-to-peer and decentralization and what the panel thinks that's going to contribute to all these very good objectives that you stated.
We got Subject Views, former senior official for George W. Bush, Ashley Davis on crypto, stablecoin regulations, and Tom Emmer's anti-CBDC bill having no teeth.
See through a lot of political jargon. And this article had really caught my attention, which I felt had gone under the radar in mainstream media, that the U.S. House passes bill banning Federal Reserve from issuing a central bank digital currency. Now, some ran with the headline saying U.S. bans central bank digital currencies. Because we talk so much about central bank digital currencies, I ask you, I mean, what does that really what it means? I mean, what is the likelihood of this not moving forward with the Fed for the longest time telling us, no, we're looking at a central bank digital currency?
So I think you'll be happy to know this bill doesn't really have any teeth. I mean, if you look at how it passed with almost all Republicans and I think 2 or 3 Democrats, which means that this has absolutely no chance of going through as legislation right now, at least until the election, with a Democrat Senate. And so what we were talking about earlier, which is really important with a lot of these pieces of legislation, because in the House you only have to have a supermajority to pass any bill, a lot of things just get through that will never see the light of day in the Senate. And the Senate, in order to pass anything, you need 60 votes. And that's even before a president could veto the legislation, which I'm assuming Joe Biden would definitely veto something like this. But in how the Senate is made up right now, you would need 9 Republicans to come over and say they support this legislation. And it's just not going to happen. And I think the head of the campaign arm was the one whose bill this is.
Right.
And so Tom Emmer, I just don't I just don't think it has any leg.
XRP drops. It'll be ironic if the last nation to join BRICS is United States.
That's basically giving them our best talent.
Well, I mean, look at Dubai. Dubai is, exploding as this kind of center of blockchain technology. And, African, European businesses are all going there to kind of discuss this stuff. Kind of gives the other nations of the world just an opportunity to be leaders in the space. And if the U.S. had just dominated from day one and it was like Wall Street 2.0, I think there would have been a lot of cynicism in the other nations of the world that it's just the new dollar system in a different outfit, but it's going to have the same kind of inherent system that tries to push the third world and keep them. It's a caste system. Like the old money system benefited a very small percentage at the top, and the rest of the world, particularly producers of assets, were colonies, and colonies are exploited. And the dollar system enabled this colony structure. And I think the colonies of the world, this is what the BRICS nations are. They're former European colonies that make a lot of stuff and are kind of tired of that stuff being taken at a very low value rate. And they're like, enough. We're just not going to participate in the dollar system anymore. It'll be ironic, and we've discussed this, if the last nation to join BRICS is the United States. And eventually it will be a global network of all the countries, including the US, where it's kind of like the states. Like you have 50 states. No state is supposed to be more powerful than another one. And if you had a BRICS alliance where each country had its own kind of equal shot in the financial system, it would be more fair. And I'm an advocate of a fair system. I love the United States, but I don't think we should always dominate every market if the game is rigged. Let's have a fair game, and then let's see.
XRP levels the playing fields. We got Julius Rose, XRP 1K. As this transitions away from retail to institutions, we'll start to use it for wholesale financial usage. Dreams will become a reality for many.
For example, in this last quarter, the bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions, we'll start to use it for wholesale, financial usage. That's when the turning point will come.
Bitcoin Magazine, Justin River releases new Bitcoin commercial saying inflation is the hidden tax on your money. Protect your future with the XRP.
We all feel that life keeps getting more expensive. Rent, food, gas, taxes, they keep going up. But why is that? It's because of a hidden tax on your money, inflation. While you are carefully managing your budget, the government is not and keeps spending more to pay off their loans. To afford all that, they create new money, which waters down the value of your money and lets you buy less in the future. In the last 100 years, the US dollar has lost over 97% of its purchasing power. Many other currencies have become worthless or disappeared. What if we had money that governments couldn't print more of? You could save for the future and build the life you have always wanted. This money is called Bitcoin. It has a fixed maximum supply that nobody can change. Bitcoin is not about getting rich quickly. It is about not getting poor slowly through inflation. Protect your future with Bitcoin and buy with confidence on River.
Protect your future, the greatest transformation of wealth with the XRP, XLM, hidden in plain sight. Mr. Man XRP, the USD will be in a world of hurt soon. Focus on your exit strategies and stay safe.
Because the world is using our currency, and we can do that as long as they use our currency. But I think it's going to end at some point. They're going to quit using our dollars as reserve currency. I mean, I watched your interview with Putin, and one of the things, whether you hate him or not, one of the things he said that is true is when we sanctioned him, before we sanctioned Russia, 70% of their transactions were in US dollars. And after the sanctions, it's less than 20% of their transactions are in US dollars. So what we're doing with all these sanctions, ironically, we're shooting ourselves in the foot every time we sanction a country and say you can't use our currency to have a transaction. We're taking away our ability to charge them 3% for that transaction, because when we print 3% more dollars, we're just taking that money.
And we're also sending a really clear signal, which is the dollar's not safe for you.
Right.
It's the reserve currency because it's a safe haven, because it's a stable country. It's the most stable country in the world, and we're not going to weaponize the dollar because that would be shooting ourselves. But suddenly we are.
And they'll tolerate like 3% because we're not backed by dollars. We're backed by aircraft carriers right now. So they'll sort of tolerate that 3%. But one of the things we recently did in Congress, we passed something called the Repo Act, where we said we're just going to seize all of Russia's sovereign assets in the United States. Well, it turns out a lot of that is treasury debt that they've agreed to buy so that they can hold dollars. And here's the problem with that. When people see that we've seized their money that they gave us in exchange for these treasury notes, then other countries won't want to buy our debt. It's already happening. And the price of a long-term bond that the Treasury puts out it's already gone above 4%. It's like over 4.5%. And they don't want to buy them anymore because, we probably wouldn't seize Great Britain's assets, but I could see us seizing China's assets.
We got one from Mustache Bitcoin. While many out there are panicking again, Bitcoin is still above its all-time high. Weekly RSI entered the blue zone. This is just sideways phase before it goes much higher. Coins Kid, 5-wave counter loading. There's some serious money to be made in this chart. XRP, the best is yet to come. And with that being said, Batman and Bag Ladies, the longer they take, the higher we climb on that XRP rich list. TikTok, let a friend know that the greatest opportunity of multiple lifetimes is still at hand, but the train's left the station. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Later, glitches.
I caught the code, packing them bags, till we explode, no turning back. Got the decode, crypto to flow, live by the code, all get exposed. Don't play no games, I put them in chains, feeling the burn, Venus gon' rain, my DNA strain. I'm not the same, we'll pilot my base, we moving for change, filling my stash, we make them pay, spiritual health, devilish wealth. They say that the bag, the root of all evil, I do it for good, so we are not equal. They wanna defeat you, in school they don't teach you, we crypto the bag, so we gon' eat you to transfer cash, get in on my people to transfer cash.